Good morning, pregame crew. It is Tuesday, October 25th, 2022, 8:21 a.m. Eastern, 6:21 a.m. Mountain Time. Good morning. You're at the pregame show, and this is where I go over the market indices, commodities, crypto, movers and shakers of the day, and my goal is to get you ready for the trading day. So I will officially get started in 9 minutes. I will go over the charts in 9 minutes, but between now and then I may do a few chart requests, say hello to my friends, do an audio visual check, and today's a little different. We will be ending sharply at 8:50 a.m. Eastern, 6:50 a.m. Mountain Time, so Charting Man Dan can jump on and do the open house. That is an almost hour and a half show, free to you if you're not a TCG member, just to kind of show you what we do every morning for our members. Thank you, Night Truck. Hey, Lisa. Hey, Sincere Alma, Night Truck, I hope you're well. Hey, Train Man, Casey, Mal, ER, Sam, Jerry, you made me chuckle out loud. I highly doubt you don't have a lot of brain cells left. So I know you're trying to learn at 74 years old. You think it's a challenge, but you're never too old to learn new tricks, new processes. So good for you for continuing to learn. Hey, Luciano, Gareth, Short Bus, Carlos, Andre, Greg, good morning. Hey, Matthew. Thanks, Roger. Hey, Jessica, Mary. How are ya? So, ER, you bottom fish, FNGU. That is a tough one. We are in the Big Fang week earnings. Netflix, of course, was last week. That was just last week. Wow. And we have Google and Microsoft this afternoon. We have Apple and Amazon. Thursday, I forget when Meta is, but we just have a ton of earnings this week. So it is a high risk trade to go long, 3 times long, these FANG names. So just please be careful out there. I would use yesterday's low as a must hold. Actually, that's pretty far away. 522 is your support, then 506. I would use 506 as your must-hold support. And just remember that earnings are binary events. Unless you spend hundreds of hours studying their books, you really don't know what and how they're going to report. And that's how a lot of newer traders get blown out, because betting on earnings is gambling. Again, unless you work for the company and you know something that you probably shouldn't, or you've studied for hundreds of hours, it is a pure gamble. Now, if you're a trader who knows how to take advantage of option premium crush, then that's a whole different, that's a strategy. That's not gambling, that is a strategy. You have a process on how you choose the strikes, how you get your theta burn. So be careful with earnings. Resistance is high of yesterday, 535. Yeah, hit that like button. Hey, Danny, RJ. Okay, Meta is Wednesday. Thanks, Casey. Hey, Andre. You ain't scared, ER? Mary says she's missing brain cells too. It's a nice hobby. I doubt it. I've interacted with you enough, Mary, to know you're not missing a ton of brain cells whatsoever. All right. Any chart request? Beyond FNGU? I logged on a little early because Dan will be going live at 9 a.m. Eastern, and I have to be done at 6:50 a.m. down here in the far right corner. An alarm will go off so he can log in and boot up his live stream for the open house. Hey, just plain crazy. Dollars rolling over. Let's look. Not quite. It is stuck below the hourly 50 MA, which I like to call the Great Wall of Louisiana. It is stuck below there. We have an hourly higher high. We have a double top at 112.12, 112.12. You have a support at 111.904. 4 hour, a lower high is anticipated compared to 112.534, and that is good for the market if that were to happen. Got a nice little EQ brewing on dollar and bonds. This is what a market bull wants to see. Excuse the drawing. Don't come for me. I'll send for you. I have my terrible drawings. But we do have a diamond pattern, a potential reversal pattern forming on bonds, and market bulls really want to see this. Bonds are still lagging the market here. Okay, now we're getting a little more giddy up and go. 4 hour lower high compared to 120 is expected, and then bulls could look to possibly buy a dip or a higher low compared to 117.19. Hey, Bennett. You make it an awesome day, Scott. Okay, CLF. They have earnings this morning? Yeah, it looks like they had earnings. So they had a miss on earnings 40% and on revenue 2%. So that's a pretty big miss. So this is a no-touch rule for me. When you have a company that misses so greatly, so these earnings are just coming out. When did they come out? They came out this morning, okay? Not yesterday afternoon, this morning. So downgrades haven't even come out yet. So that's why I call it the 3-day no-touch rule after a bad earnings report, because you have the bad earnings, then you have downgrades. And so you could have all of these different headlines that can happen and domino effect after you get the bad earnings. And it can go farther down longer than you can remain solvent because it's news related and RSI is not as important. So your next support is down at 1343 and 1339. Again, this is a different scenario. It's beyond technical analysis because they had such a bad miss on earnings. And think about it, if a company is missing their profit target by over 40%, something fundamentally has changed and shifted within this company. Well, price has to account for that. This is new information to the market, and now the market's going to price that in. So we're talking about a different company than we were talking about a quarter ago when you missed by 40%. All right, Matic, and then I'll get started. As soon as I'm done with Matic, I'll get started so we can get through all of our charts in 20 minutes. Potential daily bull flag. This looks good. Higher high, higher low, higher high. We're inside bar, inside yesterday's range. A high of 9088. Support 8720. 4 hour is essentially going sideways. You have support at 8737, then 8720. You've pulled back enough now on the on the next 4 hour bounce. You would expect a lower high compared to 9052. So if you don't have a long position in Matic and you've been drooling over it for several days on this uptrend, I would wait for hourly oversold and start scouting a potential daily higher low for a potential long. If you're looking short, I would wait closer to 90 cents to short that. So Nitro Hang Seng crashing and how that might impact US markets. We really shook it off very well yesterday, considering we were down over 6% yesterday on Hang Seng. Not we, Hang Seng was down. But look at this chart. Our bounces have been longer and more sustained than Hang Seng. How far is Hang Seng down? Sorry, trying to figure this out. Not what I want. They're down 37% on the year, and we are down 27% on the year. So we are holding up better than their market. It sometimes has an effect on us, but not always. I would say it's growing less and less important as the Hang Seng diverges and becomes more bearish because their specific issues to them in their country versus how they impact us. Before, we were a little bit in more lockstep, but it seems like we're diverging and separating ourselves a little bit and acting more independently, and that's very clear yesterday's price action. So sorry, that's probably not as educated of response you were looking for or informed response, but that's the best I got. Y'all ready? Chris, I would short CLF on a bounce, not down here, down 10% in pre-market. So I look for bounces to short when there is a huge down move, and that may be a problem. Some people can just enter short as soon as it opens and it flushes and they make money. That's just not my style. I need a little bounce. I need to cool off that RSI just a little bit, even though RSI is not as important on an earnings release. I just like to get a little bit more space, and I want my stop closer by. All right. Good morning. This is who I am. I'm Chart Gal Lori. I'm part of the Chart Guys community, and we teach technical analysis. If you want to give me a follow on Twitter, at Chart Gal Lori. My goal is to get to 4,000 followers before Monday, my birthday. You think we can do that? If you could hit the like button on this video, that helps me as well. Hit that notify button, subscribe button, just hit a good button, not the off button, and I would appreciate it. So on another screen, I have my notes for the indices, commodities, crypto movers and shakers of the day. When I'm done, I copy and paste these notes for TCG members to slice and dice as they see fit. All right, on ES. I'm sticking with 4 hour for clarity, but I don't think that ES holds the most clarity for us. I think we are beholden to the NASDAQ chart. NASDAQ was unable to get over Sunday's high. So let me go through this a little more slowly. It's up there in the numbers, so you can't see it. 1153.025. Okay, that was the high of Sunday night. Okay, we got that. ES high of Sunday night was 3813, but we went over it yesterday. Right before the hour timeout in futures, we went over Sunday's high, 3822. ES is stronger. Why is ES not getting follow through on that bull break? Because its buddy NASDAQ couldn't do the same. However, NASDAQ is holding up a little bit better. On the hourly, we're holding up just a little better. And on the 4 hour, we're holding up better. So NASDAQ is a little stronger this morning, but yesterday afternoon, ES was making higher highs and NASDAQ wasn't able to. So we can make a simple statement as long as NASDAQ stays below 1153.025, then the market bulls haven't proven a lot today. And we have to take it time frame by time frame by time frame, because when we look at the daily here on NASDAQ, we are in an uptrend. Things have changed, but now we want to see a weekly, we will see a weekly lower high, odds favorite, and then a higher low and change the weekly trend. So good job, NASDAQ bulls, you change the daily trend. Good job, ES bulls, you change a daily trend. But the proving doesn't stop there. You got to keep bringing it. You got to keep bringing the heat. The bulls have to keep this uptrend going. Now, with the binary events that we have happening after hours today, tomorrow, Thursday, and I would say Apple is the #1 earnings of the week, and that's Thursday after hours. And then we have PCE Friday morning. PCE wrecked the market last time. It really was a volatile response to PCE inflation data. So we've seen this story before. We've seen this before where we have this volatility comes in on one binary event and then the next day you have a complete reversal. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen this week, but I am saying stay nimble, stay agile, and be open to all outcomes, because these are events that are outside of our technical analysis, if you will, and we don't know how the market's going to digest it because it's new data to the market. The market has digested all data available and known to it at this point. As soon as more data comes out, the market responds, and the market has been responding very swiftly. Very unusual these past few months where it's zoom to the upside, zoom to the downside, zoom to the upside, lots of volatility. So it's irrational and very, very emotional. I used to call the market acts like a teenager, but now I would say a toddler. It's very temperamental. Acts like a toddler in their terrible threes. And if you have a 2-year-old, I hate to tell you, but it's not the terrible twos, it's the terrible threes that really get you. So the market is acting like a terrible 3-year-old, very temperamental, very immature, and very volatile. All right. So we went over what the markets have done on a daily basis, and on a 4-hour basis, it has proven a lot. We're still holding the uptrend. Still holding the uptrend. However, we want to see NASDAQ take out 1153.025 to prove that continuation. And I would say our key levels on ES is 375175. 375175. And let me show you why that's a key level. Low from last Friday to the high of yesterday afternoon. Y'all look at this 0.382. 3753 keeps a 4-hour or a daily bull flag on the table. 3753, and we have the support here at 3751. So what I'm saying is, what am I saying? I'm saying I would look for a short below 3822 if NASDAQ stays under 11530. And if you trade these two instruments, you should be able to spit those out at this point, spit them out and have them memorized, because you need, on your key charts, you need to know your key levels. And if you don't want to memorize it, then set alerts so you know when things change. So I would be looking to short 3822, go long 3751. And I'm saying 3751 to 3753 because that's that 0.386. Let's just call it 40% retrace. Keeps a bull flag on the table, and it's also our last support. And I would say anything in the middle, we're diddling in the middle. I think you're going to get chopped up in between those ranges. All right. Hope that makes sense. We do not want to see the market break 3751 and get back into this area of, I will call this the short squeeze area. This is when the market was weakened and all of these orders were wiped out. So you come back into that area, you can slide down really, really fast. So careful and caution if we drop below 3751, then a daily lower high is the more likely scenario. We enter into a whole nother can of worms if we lose 3750, and I'm just going to round it off to 50. Okay, and NASDAQ, we did our levels. 11530, and I'm sorry, it's up here in this legend. 11530 is our key resistance, and let's go ahead and do that fib retrace so we know our levels here. So 11300 keeps a bull flag on the table for NASDAQ. That's an area where I would look to go long, and I would look to go short around 11530. Anywhere in the middle of that range, I think we're diddling in the middle and you can get chopped up. I want to get closer to extremes in order to go long so I can backstop, have a backstop right below me, or short where I have a backstop right above me. All right, RTY. RTY is resting on the 50. I frustrate myself in case I'm frustrating you when I try to draw and it doesn't do what I want it to do. We are struggling up here at the 4-hour 200 MA and the 4-hour 50 MA. We're just stuck right in between it. So Sunday's high of 1769, we've been unable to get over it, just like NASDAQ was unable to get over the 11530. RTY is just a little bit weaker, and we're down here resting on the hourly 50 MA. RTY bulls don't want to see a loss of that hourly 50 MA. That means more meaningful consolidation is coming into the picture. 1730 is your key area to hold, or you're definitely looking for a lower high on the next bounce. And bears are looking to top fish 1769. Hey, Kuho Choi, thank you. Thank you. All right, so on YM, resistance 31640, support 31197. I should probably have done a retrace on RTY, but I got to go a little faster. So do you see how we are nowhere close to that 0.382? We're holding up really well on the Dow. Okay, so we had Coca-Cola earnings this morning. They beat. We had UPS earnings this morning. They beat, and they emphasized they will continue their plan for the $5.5 billion share buyback. 3M had a slight miss. We had GE earnings. We had GM earnings. The earnings are coming out the yin-yang this morning, okay? So some of the indices are holding up and faring better, and I would say the Dow has benefited the most this morning from Dow earnings besides MMM. Which, are they down? They had a slight miss. 3M, yeah, they just had a slight miss. So it's really not affecting the Dow a ton. The Dow is definitely where it's at with strength, and RTY is definitely where it's at for weakness. But yet I still look to the NASDAQ chart, 11530, 11530, 11530. Got to get through that for bull continuation. All right, VIX, here is a welcome sign for market bulls. We have an hourly bear flag on VIX. VIX has ultimate weakness down here. And market bulls are loving it. On the next bounce, we're looking for a 4-hour lower high compared to 3095. Support 2924. Now, this is a window. VIX is giving bulls a window saying, get your life together. Even if you have to go tap 3751 ES, but then go take out that 3822. And here's your window. Here's your sign. Here's your window. And the dollar, we want to see the dollar. Market bulls want to see 111.73 taken out and then 111.474. Remember, we have this daily EQ that broke bear, but is not getting a ton of follow through. And look at that weekly chart holding that EMA like a champ. That is a quick EMA. Mine is the 8. That's quick. And it's still holding it. Dollar bulls are fighting here. They're fighting pretty well. So that it could be a headwind for the market if the dollar bulls have victory. We have 9 minutes. So I'm going to go just a little faster. All right. So Bitcoin, I will keep saying it as long as it keeps working. Daily 50 MA overhead. We're on our second daily inside bar tightening range on Bitcoin. The 50 MA is really causing a headache for Bitcoin bulls. You just broke your support by $10, not getting a lot of follow through. However, you have resistance at 19329 and 1937845. We have retraced a lot more of yesterday's big move and Sunday's big move. We've retraced a lot more than bulls would like. Crypto relative weakness with Bitcoin. Ethereum, however, this is a beautiful looking, just tightening pattern on Ethereum. We're inside yesterday's range. This could be a daily bull flag. So ETH bulls are pleased with how they're holding up compared to Bitcoin. All right, gold. Gold, the play for me is a 4-hour lower high top fish against 1659. We're in a 4-hour downtrend. Bulls are trying for a tweezer bottom at 1641. We need to see the dollar roll over in order for gold to get any type of sustained bounce. I believe shorting it this morning makes more sense than looking for a long. Oil, shorting it against 85.01 makes more sense to me. We're getting up in this area. I'd be a little more conservative since they're coming on strong. I saw a lot of Saudi headlines right before I went live. NG. Okay, NG, top fish idea is gone. Oh, we have API estimates today after hours on oil, by the way. So we're clearing this 5259 with gusto now. We hit 5286 overnight and pulled back a little bit. Your next resistance, 55565. I guess the nat gas bulls are saying enough, quit beating us down. So if you are a hungry hippo bull, I'd wait for a pullback for an hourly higher low compared to 511.9. But for me, this is a no trade zone on NG. Yesterday's trade idea would have worked out beautifully if you took it, but now we're entering the no trade zone for me. No edge. 4-hour approached overbought. Thursday earnings. EQ possible as people wait for earnings. So a weekly lower high is the more likely scenario here. Okay, we're in a weekly. So stay with me. We're in a weekly downtrend and 4-hour grazed overbought earlier. So typically that is a reverse backburner trade where you start scouting that weekly lower high when the 4-hour gets extended. So I would be looking to top fish Apple against 150.17 or yesterday's high, 150.23. Amazon really tight on the 2-hour, no edge for me here. When you look at it, the hourly had a little bobble here, so I couldn't say it was an hourly EQ, but it's just really stuck within a range. There's no edge for me. I can't tell you long, short, sideways. It's just, it needs to tighten up a little bit more to have an edge. Now, I like NVDA short up here. It was unable to get through Thursday's high. I like a short against yesterday's high, or more conservative bears waiting to short 12769. Aiming for that weekly lower high, and this could be a bear flag. Tesla hourly downtrend. It's a top fish candidate as long as this weakness remains. So I would be looking for a top fish against 213.50. And Twitter headlines, every time a Twitter headline comes out and it's positive for Twitter and this buyout, Tesla will see incoming weakness. Now, the weakness is not as great as it was in the beginning. I still think it is causing a negative or a black cloud overhang on Tesla, along with their poor earnings last week. So top fish against 213.50 makes sense. CCL, Boil and Cold dropping dimes, KOLD and Boil. Those are pretty liquid leveraged ETFs. Caution. Okay, this one, I'm picking on a bull up here. But I like a top fish of CCL, weekly lower high, the more likely scenario. I like a top fish against this 829. I continue to pick on this name and it keeps working, so I'm going to keep doing it. mRNA, you see I have these three up here, my Queen of the Mountain trades, because I'm very interested in it. From the high of last Tuesday to the low of Thursday, we've retraced approximately 70% of that move. So I am looking for a daily lower high on mRNA. I'll clear this off. You can see we're at the daily 50 MA. I'm looking for a daily lower high. And we're slammed up here at hourly overbought. I like top fishing yesterday's high. A more conservative bear is waiting at short 134.65. Good morning, Maddie. How are ya? It is, yep, Mary, Amazon is tight. You're welcome, dropping dimes. Okay, Neo looking for a top fish against $10.03, yesterday's high. Looking for that 4-hour lower high. Rivian, going to continue to pick on this one as well. I guess I have 3 EV names I don't like this morning. Tesla, Neo, and Rivian. Rivian, going to keep picking on it. 31.42, top fish area on Rivian. The second weekly inside bar is forming here. We're inside last week's range, and that range is inside the prior week's range. And we're looking for a weekly lower high. So I like a top fish against 31.50. Yep, Karen, you got it. Okay. I have time for one request, and then I'm done. You're welcome. So it's cold, KOLD. That is the bear name for nat gas, and boil is the bull name for nat gas. And it is leveraged, so be careful. Chris, I don't like debit spreads on anything before earnings because you're expecting a premium crush. And so a debit, you're going to get your premium crushed after earnings. But credit spreads are a lot riskier. So it's just a very tough call for me to advise anyone on any type of earnings trade, because I'm essentially telling you it's okay to gamble, and I just don't want to do that. Well, thank you, Gareth. You do a great job of being here every day and being supportive. Thank y'all. My alarm's about to go off, so I'm going to shut it down early. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget, hit that like button and give me a follow on Twitter at CharkowLori. And in the chat room right here, if you look at the top, there's a pinned link. Click on this link as soon as you opt out of this video. Click on this link here, or click on it before you opt out. Open up another window to watch Dan. He'll be live in 12 minutes, and you will see how the sausage is made over at TCG. All right, you stop losses.